Welcome to episode 3 of the Completely Original podcast with Chris and special guest Aidan Kushner.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yes. Thank
So
you for having me.
Yeah, of course, of course. Glad to have you. So, do you want to describe what you do, what you're into, stuff you like?
Well, I'm a comedian. So yeah, I'm a big comedy nerd. Very much anything comedy. I do a lot of stand up and sketch
Stand
comedy,
up is
stuff
cool.
like that.
Stand up is freaking
Yeah,
cool. I
yeah.
can't imagine standing up in front of people and being, bro, that scared the crap out of me. You have bigger balls than I do.
Yeah, it's you get used to it after a while, but yeah, it's a fun time. So
Nice.
yeah, that's my deal. Right now I'm just trying to move to the city, trying to get to Brooklyn to do stand up because I live upstate right now.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Damn. Okay, so you're really running with it. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Aiden, I even noticed. Full disclosure, we met at college, and Aiden, yeah, you also write a lot too, right? Like comedy sketches, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like plays. I think you mentioned, right? Stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I had a play go up at my college last semester.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just it's very like Larry David-esque about like neurotic people who just hate each other.
uh, that's really cool. Yeah, no. So I mean, I'm gonna be real. Chris knows this about me. I have no idea anything about like pop culture or like who's Larry David? Tell me about him. Yeah, I have
Oh,
no
Larry
idea.
David.
Yeah.
Doesn't know
Larry
Larry
David
David.
is co-creator of Seinfeld and Curb Your
Oh.
Enthusiasm. Yeah, he's just like a neurotic Jewish New York guy.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty
And
cool.
yeah, he's really funny.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know that Aiden, me and you, we both really enjoy Seinfeld and Curb, right?
Yeah,
Would you say that you're heavily influencing your comedy by Larry and Jerry Seinfeld, would you say?
yeah,
Especially with
yeah, for
stand-up?
sure. I grew up watching Seinfeld, and so I probably didn't really understand it as a little kid, but I guess it's just like in my subconscious to be neurotic and, and miserable about everything. So yeah, I sort of I sort of write like to that voice a lot of the time. But
That's really funny. That's really do you know about what's that one show you told me about, Chris? The British comedy.
Oh, the one I really, really
The
like?
one you really, really like. I'm forgetting the name.
Oh, Peep Show?
Yeah, Peep Show. Has he
Oh.
ever seen Peep Show?
yeah,
Aaron, yeah, because you mentioned you're really into, neurotic,
Yeah,
miserable.
yeah,
If you're gonna talk about neurotic and miserable, it's gonna be British comedies, and to me, the goat of all those comedies is Peep Show, right?
yeah, for sure. I've seen some of it. Even for me, it's a little too dark. It's a little
Yeah, they
Like
literally eat a dog.
yeah.
The creator of the show even describes like the main idea behind it as perpetual human suffering. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think Curb Your Enthusiasm or Seinfeld go quite far in
No.
that
Oh.
regard.
Definitely not. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a bit of Seinfeld. It's definitely played more for laughs. Like, there's moments where it's like, damn, these guys are kind of losers. But my God, Peep Show is like, these guys are They should not be around other people.
No.
They're psychotic.
They are
sociopaths.
mentally deranged.
Yeah. Like
I had to stop watching it because it was too
Oh, yeah.
depressing.
I love it. That like the more depressing, the more funny it is to me.
Yeah.
You are messed up.
No, yeah.
Bro, you are messed up.
No, but yeah, like I mean, when you watch Seinfeld, right, the characters are flawed to an extent, right? They are
Right.
innately flawed. They're self-centered. They're even like borderline narcissistic. But it's not I'm going to go out. I'm going to eat this dog in front of the in front of the girl.
In front of the person who owns it, pretending it's turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So like, what is your like? So when it comes to comedy, generally you do like some more of the, I guess, kind of like not as intense as Peep Show, but like you said, you like kind of Seinfeld, like the very flawed individual characters. is there like, and you said you do sketch comedy, right? Is there anything like specific on your mind that you wanna tell? Like, is there any like joke or like you know what I mean? Is there anything a story you want to say specifically, or is it
Oh
just
yeah.
like you know? Continue.
Let me think. Well, I'm trying to like. I guess I can talk about like what I'm trying to like work on right now. I'm
Oh yeah, if you
like,
want, yeah, sure.
I'm writing a short film about it's like about an actor who he's faced with like, should I sell out the way that I, want to properly act to get jobs, or should I, stick to my guns? And his method of acting is that he gets drunk, and that way his emotions just, they come out like on the surface, and that's kind of his methodology. But of course everyone's like, you can't drink
You c-
on a
it's
film
that.
set.
So
So
it's
and really he's an alcoholic, and he's just sort of using this as an excuse. So he kind of, he has to decide what to do. But like I'm writing it now, and it's hard because I guess I sometimes go too much for the comedy and like the joke of it, where it's like with something you do want to have some like
Mhm.
emotion and drama, and it's like this guy is an alcoholic, and there should be some level of like serious grounded emotion to go
Mhm.
with that, but I have to put that in there still.
Yeah, no.
so
Oh yeah.
so would you say it's a lot easier for you to write that sort of comedic aspect of it than to really and that as compared to the dramatic aspect of
Yeah, for
the
sure.
comedy?
Like I hear a lot, about like TV writers' rooms on sitcoms, and they say that like when you're starting out, all you do is like pitch jokes, and you don't work on like story or character. And I'm like, that's great. That's perfect for me. And it's supposed to be like paying your dues, but I'm like, I just want to stick with that and not deal with the other stuff. So
Yeah,
No.
all those cringy emotions. I
Well, it's
hate
cringy.
emotions.
Yeah, hey, get him out of here. I mean, like, I think the thing with comedy though that's really cool is like, you're saying you're struggling writing the more emotional aspects, but like, I think the thing with comedy, it's a really comedy is really good with the drama. I think because I feel like comedy brings you that high where you could have these more emotional stuff that really like kind of like whiplash brings you that low, and I think it's really good because you can kind of almost like a roller coaster go
Mm.
up and you know what I mean. So
yeah, yeah.
I'm excited to see like when you're done with it. I cannot wait to see when you're yeah, that sounds really
Mm.
fun. Especially like getting drunk because like, that's the only way I can act. Let's go,
Like
baby.
like you said that I was like, oh, this guy's an alcoholic. Oh, this man has problems.
This man has
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, but
serious issue.
I find that contrast fascinating though, how those two aspects of drama and comedy can really play off each other very well, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like I was realizing that like I relate emotionally more to just pure comedies, and
Mm.
like I'll cry over over just insane silly stuff. Um but I don't like Schindler's List or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure comedy and Schindler's List would really up the drama.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I find that very interesting though. Um, because I'm also kind of the same vein. Was I remember as a kid, I would watch like Friends, right? And then there'd be moments in Friends where it would be like you see like the romance and stuff like that, or like drama in their lives. But like, I don't care about this. This isn't funny to me. You know,
Right. Yeah.
this is like a distraction.
Yeah. I I will say I recently, speaking of Friends, I had a I don't know if I should say this on the air, but I had a bad trip, let's say, and I went like existential crisis stuff.
Oh.
And
Okay.
when I came back down from it, my friend was like, "Do you want to watch Black Mirror?" And I was like, "No, are you crazy?" So I was like, "Let's watch Friends," because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't even like it that much, but I was like, it's just like warm and friendly and calm, and like
much more
I can get my
accepting.
mind around. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can. That is literally the worst thing you can do after coming down from a trip. That is terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Bruh.
I was scared just with the thought of watching it.
Yeah.
No, that's freaky, man. That's freaky. Yeah. I, I've never actually like taken like I had a friend who like took hella shrooms, right? Bro was fucking
Yeah.
wild. He showed me a video of him like 5 minutes like after taking them. He was fine. He was talking. 10 minutes. Bro's on the ground like planking, face first on the ground, sitting there for half an hour. Like that shit's insane.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I don't know how much he took, but yeah, if you take too much,
Kind of melt.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
it's
wonder if I wonder because you always hear about musicians are like, bro, like taking like dropping this drug or dropping acid just like opens this new mind for me, opens this new path. I wonder if that could happen with comedy, or if maybe comedy because I feel like comedy has a very logical structure to it.
yeah.
So I don't know.
You mean like if you watched enough comedy, would it open your mind at like a drug trip?
No. Like, would a drug trip help you write? Like, come up with new stuff for
Oh,
comedy?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might. Well, I remember I felt like I couldn't be funny
Oh.
when I was experiencing it, just because I guess because like I didn't know what was normal or what was real, so it's hard to like make
Yeah.
fun of things when you don't understand the
What?
ground level.
Yeah.
But
No, I
yeah,
feel
So
that.
yeah,
you're completely lucid then, Aidan, when you're on stage.
yeah, yeah. But now that I'm back down, I think I can be funny again.
Oh,
I've
cool.
recovered.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think that's the thing that's really interesting with comedy is I feel like when it comes to jokes, like kind of like what Chris said, and it's very like there's kind of like a rule set, right? You can't just say fart and people will laugh. There's something that there's a genuine skill and actual that you have to like put together but it's also funny because a lot of like comedy is like it's like a song, but for funny, if that makes sense. Like, cause I can't really how do I put it? You will say something that just sounds like the best written joke. Like comedians will like make jokes that just sound like, oh yeah, that's hilarious. But like I wouldn't be able to do that. Like there's like a rhyme and a reason, and the only time I think I'm able to be funny is when I'm high. I'm not gonna because I can't think. If I try to put something together when I think, it just falls flat.
Yeah.
I've seen him when he's high. It's like so nonsensical to the point that it is funny. It's like
Wow. You should do stand up like that then.
I would crumble. I would melt, bro.
Wow.
but that would be entertaining just to see this man melt on stage. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be fun to see.
It's more laughing at than with.
Yeah, screw you, Chris. So yeah, do you think that like, talking about like, cause you were bringing up before though, like, drugs and like music. Do you think like whenever you've taken anything, do you think you were maybe because like you don't just do jokes, you like write stories. Do you think it's ever helped you come up with new like ideas for a story or where it can go or where it can lead?
Um, well, maybe kind of indirectly. I think it was more like therapeutic and like just open, not the bad trip, but other
Not the
good
yeah, other good, yeah.
trips. Those were like, it kind of just made me, a little bit healthier mentally, I think, which I think people say you should be screwed up to be a good writer, but I
I don't
think
know,
it helped me to
yeah.
gain a little bit more understanding and
Yeah.
confidence. So yeah, kind of indirectly, like it helped me to like think about life in a different way.
Yeah, no, totally. And I really do hate like the tortured artist trope a little bit because I kind of feel like it shoves people in boxes to where they're kind of like, I'm suffering, I need to use this to where it's like, damn, bro, be happy first. Because
Yeah,
I think it's more so a lot of people who suffer when they write or they do this or they play music. It's more so they're thinking in a way most people don't. So it seems like, wow, you have to be in pain to do. No, bro, be fucking happy. Like,
I
do something good for yourself.
I
yeah,
think when maybe certain art forms, I think it's more sort of intensity of emotion
Mm.
that can really contribute. it can really help because music's all about expression, and if you're really able to express that intense side of yourself, I think that would make for good art. But I'm not sure if it's the same for comedy though.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
I don't know,
mean,
but yeah.
Well, the person who wrote Peep Show, I'm sorry, there's no way that guy's not depressed. There's no way the dude who wrote Peep Show's not depressed. I don't.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like then I'm thinking about though. When you think of like some of the great comedians, Larry David, Sam Bain, and Jesse Armstrong, the guys who wrote Peep Show. Those are like they're not happy individuals. The show is literally called Curb Your Enthusiasm. You do not stop being happy, bro. Look around, observe the world, and realize how shit it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like a stereotype of comedians that, we're all miserable. And yeah, I guess I fit that, but
Oh,
Oh, buddy.
but I don't think it's necessary though. I think there's, I don't know. Will Ferrell is known. He's one of the few exceptions. He's known to be like a normal person.
maybe behind closed doors though. You never know.
You never know. Bro's a freak. Who knows?
Yeah, he's got that revolver. Okay. I'm
Oh,
gonna
no,
stop there.
chill out. Relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm sorry, I keep on jumping topics, but the thing when it came to like, I remember reading a story online of this woman because you were talking about like it was like therapeutic, right? Like drugs, like really kind of helped you like go to a better mind space. There was this woman online, and she was talking about how her husband, who was, she said she loved him, but he didn't really do much with his life. He had like a, but she didn't mind that about him. She liked the fact that he was kind of just like stable. He was here. He liked to play games. He eventually went into the woods and took shrooms for the first time at like maybe the age of 35 with his friends, and he came back and he was like, he started working on stuff more. He was like eating healthier. He was like, something about that kind of like opened his mind to like a new, like, damn, what is going on? And she was like, damn, bro, I'm worried he's gonna leave me.
Wow, he might. Yeah.
Yeah, he might, lady. Sorry.
Well, it like helps you to like redefine how like the patterns in which you think and like live your life. So yeah, he might be like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this person.
Sorry, lady.
Yeah.
Talking about that, since actually, like, what do you think about that? Because you said you've had a positive experience. I'm not sure what you've taken. And you can say if you want to say. You don't have to say if you don't want to say.
Well, let's just say I was in Amsterdam, so it was fun.
There you go.
And yeah, I've taken the shrooms. I haven't really ventured out. And after my recent bad experience, I might
wanna
just
take it
not
slow.
venture out.
Yeah, no, totally. No, 1,000,000%. There you go, Chris.
No, Aidan, so you were mentioning before how you were miserable, right? Yes. So I'm wondering though, right? When you watch like Seinfeld, for example, right?
Yeah.
Do you relate more to George Costanza in the sort of neurotic sense, right? But you're also a comedian. So would you relate more, do you feel like, as like to Seinfeld's character in the show? Because he's, a stand-up comic, he's more sort of your occupation, stuff
Right.
like that. When you watch that show, how do you relate to the characters?
I think it's kind of both. It's like Jerry's the person that I want to be, which is not great. It's not a good spot to be aiming for, but that's like that's what I'm shooting for. And George is like the worst aspects of myself, like just on a terrible day.
Yeah, I think that's how Larry David, right, conceived of George as just being the awful, the worst part of me possible. That is the most relatable part of me, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I guess I should try to be like Kramer. That's really
Just
Kramer. Bro's living his life. Have
yeah.
you ever heard of, what was it, Chris? Like the AI generated Seinfeld?
Oh no, yeah. On Twitch, there was a 24/7 stream of AI generated Seinfeld.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure the actual Seinfeld commented on it, and he like honestly, I was surprised he wasn't offended. He didn't hate it. He was like, "It's cool to see new technology." I mean, it's not Seinfeld, but it's pretty cool.
Wow. I gotta watch. What do you mean? Was it like a script, or it was like they did voices and everything?
It was kind of like The Sims. They just plopped the characters down in a house. They gave them a talking point, and like maybe each minute to like 2 minutes it would like reset, and they would have the same voices, similar, not the same, but similar personalities. There'd be stand-up moments. It was all AI generated. It definitely wasn't like, I wouldn't sit there and say that was good comedy. It was trash. But it was definitely something I'd get high like and eat McDonald's while watching. It was funny. It was funny.
So what were some? I can't quite remember because I only saw it a few times. Do you remember some of like the storylines or the jokes in AI generated Seinfeld?
Oh,
What that was like?
it was more like, all right, so like, when you're like, just to point this out to really get you in the headspace, Aiden, have you ever had like a really bad fever dream? Like a really
Um,
bad fever dream, like horrible. 'Cause it was kind of like that.
oh, okay.
Like one of them talked about like fake Jerry started going off about how he wanted to he saw on the news they were selling like skinned cats. And the others were talking about it like casually, like skinned cats, like yeah, skinned cats. And it was a little bit like, I think that's why I got banned from Twitch, because the AI
Oh,
kind of went a little bit overboard. But that shit is so funny.
wow. That sounds like a angry child wrote it or something.
Some
Yeah,
kid trying to make sense of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
trying to make sense of Seinfeld. You know, was it you, Chris, who said like Seinfeld was like, or like you said something like someone said the Seinfeld was like the show about nothing?
Well, yeah, that's how it's described. Yeah.
I haven't really seen a lot of Seinfeld. I've seen maybe a few episodes, but I gotta say, like that description, I feel like while it makes sense because it's like normal everyday kind of stuff, and like there's no like huge overarching thing, also doesn't really fit because it's so like fast paced. Like like the show about nothing makes it seem way slower than what I thought it'd be. That show is fast paced. Like the jokes kind of go off and off and off and off, and I'm like,
Mm.
damn, bro, this is kind. I wouldn't say this in front of you, Chris, because I like don't like you or your opinions. But that show's kind of good. God damn, holy shit.
What do you think, Aiden? Do you think that a show about nothing is accurate, represents it?
No, no,
No.
it's not about nothing. It's about social, tiny social interactions and
Mm.
all that stuff. I think like they kind of coined that phrase because in season 4 they were like the season like arc was that they were making the show within the show. They were
Oh
basically
yeah.
making Seinfeld, like Jerry in the show was making Seinfeld, and
That's meta.
George was like, it's about nothing.
Yeah. No, I mean Larry David is literally like the king of meta. Like in Curb Your
Yeah,
Enthusiasm, he's playing a version of himself
right.
as after he got famous from Seinfeld. So now that I think about it, Aiden, do you sort of are you influenced any way by what you write, by the meta aspect of it? Sort of.
In terms of being meta, no, I try not to be actually,
Oh,
because
really?
yeah, because I feel like it's a little like overdone right now, and I feel like it's like I don't have anything like if you look at like Mel Brooks, I feel like he kind of did everything that we can do. No, I don't mean to be like, you know, down on it, but no, I've Family Guy, like they kind of do all that stuff, so I feel like
Okay.
it's been done.
Yeah, it's kind of like being a dead horse at this point for you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of only do it if I make a mistake in filming, and then I pretend kind of a cop out to be like, oh, look, we made a mistake, but I
It's
only
meta,
use
guys.
it if I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
No, I
Or
mean that's
yeah.
pretty interesting because like I didn't really kind of realize meta humor was so overused until you kind of pointed out, like especially Family Guy, multiple episodes or scenes where they talk about it being a show, and to the
Yeah,
point where it sounds more like background noise because it's so overdone than actual like stuff.
right.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I like Family Guy, but just those jokes can get a little old.
All
Mhm.
right. Aaron, it's funny you bring up Family Guy because before we got on here, Brandon and I were talking about we actually both really enjoyed the Cleveland show. I don't know if you ever seen the Cleveland show, but the Cleveland show
Yeah.
is just being shit on just by so many people. And we're like, we actually it's kind of like a guilty pleasure for the both of us.
Okay, I wouldn't even call it a guilty pleasure. It's an actually good show. I I think it's better than late term Family Guy. I like the earlier and mid seasons, but Cleveland show fucking hit hard, Chris. That shit goes so hard.
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm not sure what defines a guilty pleasure, but yeah,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed the Cleveland show. Like, Aaron, do you have any strong opinions on the Cleveland
Tell us
show?
about Cleveland, Aiden.
Well, it's a serious issue.
Just-
Yeah, I don't know. I remember seeing it like when I like maybe years ago. I don't really remember anything specific, but I've definitely heard people shit on it, and
people hated that show.
yeah, I guess I should rewatch it. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it.
Have you seen?
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
No, I think the Cleveland show is kind of like a fine wine. It gets better with age.
It's better with age. Like
Yeah. What were you saying, Brandon?
have you unironically what? I mean, have you guys seen like what is it called? American Dad?
Oh, of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
Fucking love American Dad. American Dad is actually peak content. I don't know, like they still make new episodes and they are still so good.
yeah.
I think, and maybe this is a little bit unpopular, but I I'm I don't think cutaway gags are necessarily unfunny, but I don't really like the cutaway gags done in Family Guy, and to me, American Dad feels like Family Guy's humor without the cutaway gags.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
I know South Park for a fact hated the cutaway gags. Like
Yeah.
have you guys seen the Cartoon Wars episode of South Park where the way Family Guy generates its jokes is through like what is it, like a seal just picks out a random ball of like a concept and it just pings all those concepts together.
Yeah, it's just like random references.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't hate the cutaway gags, but yeah, American Dad's definitely pretty good.
Yeah.
There's this podcast. I guess I'll promote another podcast.
Hey, do it.
No.
And I've been listening to with like some of the Family Guy writers, and it's called A Typical Disgusting Display.
Ooh.
And
Okay.
it's a good name.
That kind of goes hard.
And yeah, they just like talk about writing and sitcom writing, and so yeah, they kind of do a deep dive on like their process and all that.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now I'm wondering though, Aidan, I've been kind of thinking a lot about me and Brandon have this discussion a lot about like modern like Gen Z humor, right? How it's very like our humor makes kind of no sense. We're very like absurd in our way of thinking and stuff like that, right? And you
Mhm.
enjoy like a lot of this kind of old school comedy. Does
Yeah.
your humor kind of incorporate that sort of absurdity in it? What do you think?
Yeah, I get when you say like Gen Z absurd, you mean like kind of like Adult Swim, like Eric Andre type.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and just how our memes are like completely nonsensical.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, honestly, I like Eric Andre's okay, but some of what you're talking about, like, I don't really like it. And like,
Oh yeah.
it might be a problem that I don't really incorporate it very much, but I mean, John Mulaney does like, I mean, he's like a 40s kind of like, he's from the 1940s, and he seems to be getting by, so hopefully
Yeah.
I can sort of survive having like a 90s sense of humor.
Oh
No,
yeah.
I think easily you totally will. I feel like a lot of the people like because my humor is definitely swayed more towards like Eric Andre, like more like absurdism, more like just weird. But even then,
Yeah.
I think I know for like I mean I do look at actual it's kind of like my humor is the McDonald's of comedy. Well, yours is a fancy restaurant. I like going to that fancy restaurant still. Like you're gonna have an audience, bro. You don't gotta worry about that.
Right. That's true.
Like
Also,
I
your
guess
humor. Yeah.
I'm like the
8 minutes.
Sonic. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like interesting though because like your brand of comedy, right? Like I feel like it actually takes like actual effort, to sit down, think of, like a scenario in your mind or observe the world around you and and like, find what's odd about that or see what's, interesting about it and then be able to come up on stage and express that in a funny way, you
Mm.
know? Whereas a lot of the humor now, it's just like there was a point in our lives where just putting the letter E on a meme and then it would be like a picture of Lord Farquaad in the background. That was like top comedy for us.
Right.
Like
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that stuff. So, like, I don't even really look at memes. Like, people will
Wow.
reference it. And I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm
Wow.
just
Okay.
rewatching Seinfeld.
No, I vibe with it, and I think that's like, I think that's the one thing I really do agree with, like, older, like older people on to like, because a lot of people say a lot of mediums nowadays are trash, like music nowadays is trash. I don't think so. Movies, no, I don't think, but I think humor has gotten pretty garbage. I think I don't blame you, Aiden. Humor's gotten really shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's still like a lot of good stand-ups in the city and
Oh, totally. But
Oh
like,
yeah.
but
if you go away from like people who are actually like good at humor,
right.
like yeah, if you go to like the average person like me, bro, you're not gonna have a funny time.
Wait, that
Right.
reminds me, Aiden. I haven't even talked to you about like your stand-up humor, like your style. What you like to like make fun of, like, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yeah, like can you describe to us a little bit about your stand-up comedy?
Yeah, well, I guess it's kind of like that sort of neurotic stuff of like just I guess a lot of comedians say they like lean into anger. I think I more lean into like insecurity and nervousness. So, if there's like something that I'm just like insecure about and I'll just like there's I guess like a lot of comedy I think is just incongruities. And so if I'm nervous about it, there's like something off. And so just like trying to find what that is and like figure out why it's funny and sort of put it in different contexts to make it funnier. I do a lot of sex jokes basically is
I remember I saw you at the I saw you perform. Yeah, I thought it was funny because like Seinfeld, a major influence on you, was like a very clean comic. But I saw you
yeah.
and your show was hilarious. It was like Seinfeld would not make these jokes.
No, yeah. Well, we also, I mean, we met at like a sex themed show basically.
Yeah, the
So,
Rocky Horror Show.
yeah,
Yeah,
Rocky Horror, we opened for it.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I was doing a lot of my porn sex material.
yeah. Oh my
But
god, and the crowd loved it. By the way, you could tell.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was a good crowd. It's
so
funny. There was this girl that I was sort of like in a flirting thing with, and she walked in to the show mid my set, but I was wearing like BDSM gear, which was a joke that I had done, but she walked in without seeing any of my setup, so it just was like this weird guy and almost naked, like talking about sex in a weird way that doesn't make any sense because she missed the setup, and I was like,
w-
what?
did you talk to her all after that point?
Yeah, I've talked to her since. I never explained that though. I was just like,
No, that's a bit.
You
Don't
never
ever
should.
explain that.
Never
Yeah,
explain
never.
that.
If she asked about it, you're gonna be like, what? What are you talking about?
I
yeah.
can imagine. I can imagine she like assumes that all like your standard routines are gonna be like that. You're gonna invite her to like, hey, you should come see my show this week, and she's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe next time, bud.
Yeah. So that was tough. That was
Yeah.
disappointing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but your brand was exactly on theme with the Rocky Horror Show. So did when it comes to you're talking about insecurities, right? Uh so would you say a lot of your insecurities are related to sex? I just feel like in general though, human beings can be very insecure about sex and
Sex is
stuff
kind
like
of
that,
weird.
sexuality.
Sex is
Yeah.
kind of freaky.
We all approach sex in the weirdest way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, not all of them. I'm insecure about everything, but yeah, there definitely sex falls into that category. I mean, I got a lot of embarrassing stories and just terrible stuff going on. But
Trauma.
Oh
yeah,
no.
I think I don't know, it's just weird. It's
Yeah.
like, and you gotta like it's like a performance. You gotta put on a show and I don't know. It's too much pressure. I can't, and also you can't be funny. It's like that's my main thing, and like I feel like if you're making jokes, which I can't help but do, it kind of takes the sexiness out of out of sex. Like it's just you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, but it's too funny for me to resist like making jokes during sex. So.
like at a certain point, she feels like she's sleeping with Jerry Seinfeld. It's
Yeah.
kinda
But who
ridiculous.
wouldn't want to?
You would think, but I don't know. I don't think people really want to.
They don't want to hear what's the deal.
Yeah. Why can't my penis get hard?
I have erectile dysfunction.
It's erectile dysfunction.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I got some problems, but
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Hopefully,
But
soon.
sometimes I try. Sometimes people know me from my stand-up, so I kind of can use that to be like, well, I'm insecure about this. Like you're aware of the situation.
You get the idea.
Yeah,
Bro, what were you expecting? You saw my routine.
right.
So Aiden and your various insecurities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing about sex is like I think what bothers me is that it's so indirect. Like you can't have a direct conversation about it. You have to like pretend that like you've never even heard of the concept, and I don't know. I'd just rather have an open conversation about it, but then people kind of think you're weird if it's
Yeah, no, there's
so,
totally like a stigma around that.
yeah.
Like, why is this guy talking about sex all the time?
Right. But if you were gonna do anything with somebody, you would talk about it before you did it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not just like if you're gonna go like mini golfing, you're not like giving eyes that imply that you're gonna go to the golf course. It's like you have a conversation. So I don't know. I just think it's crazy.
No, totally. And I think like it's weird too, just because it's kind of it's something so intimate too. It's like
Right.
you think something so intimate would be something that you like would talk about, would speak about, but apparently not. No, it's just done.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I'll sometimes, we'll talk about like if I can like sit down on the bed. We'll talk about seating before we'll talk about sex.
Fucking seating. Funny.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What are you insecure?
Oh, I'm very insecure. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking at my face right now, and I'm just like, oh, you're so fucking ugly, Chris.
Yeah.
You are so awful.
I'm doing that the
Yeah.
same thing, bro. You really should get off camera, Chris.
Yeah, sorry guys. I think this podcast would be a lot better if I just.
Yeah, I think when it comes to me, I think a lot of I guess like humor in general is kind of based around like I feel like you said anger. I kind of feel like humor is like healing, right? Because for me, a lot of the jokes I make are in the same vein, kind of like, like haha, laugh at me, because
Yeah.
it's more relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Brandon, I've like you're at your funniest. I feel like when you're just like angry at the world and just so like and you're like pissed off that God put you on this earth.
Okay, Chris, thanks.
No, it's a compliment.
It's so funny when you're angry. Bro, you're just laughing at the Redditor thing. Shut up.
Oh yeah.
You're laughing at the Redditor. Yeah, no. I
Yeah.
guess it's kind of like what you said before, Chris. Like art, like
Yeah.
through intense emotion.
Oh yeah.
Intense emotion really gets you. Like whether it's like if you're angry or happy, like if it goes hard, it goes hard.
Yeah. I think for me, it's very telling about my insecurity. It's just the fact that, like, in like Seinfeld, I relate most to George. In like Peep Show, I relate to Mark. Like the two most insecure, like spineless individuals possible.
Yeah.
Is there any like sitcoms, like modern day sitcoms or stuff like that that you watch and you're like, damn, this is just like so unfunny to me that it's offensive. Like I'm listening, this is just bad. This hurts.
Our podcast.
Please say we're in first place. We need it.
I don't know. I mean, probably most. No, I don't know.
Half of them, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really watch a lot of modern sitcoms. I guess like from what I've seen, like a lot of the like Big Bang Theory type stuff. Is kinda
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly bad. But even so, I don't know. Like there are some like family sitcoms that I don't particularly like, just because they're a little too like sentimental and like sweet, and it's kind of like they're not bad, but it's just like I don't know. I'd rather have more. I feel like Arrested Development was really good because it was like it had a little bit of sweetness to it and like sentimental stuff, but it was so minimal that they were
Yeah.
like able to get all the other jokes in, and
Like
yeah.
that like disgusting sweet part of the show that was kept low. You
Yeah,
know?
it's like 30
Yeah.
seconds an episode, and then they're like back into the jokes.
Back into the. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a balancing act with like comedy and like emotion, because it's kind of like if you add too much emotional shit to it and then try to add like maybe a joke where one of the characters like being like awful, there's kind of like the tone is changed, and now it's kind of
Right.
I can't look at this character in a good light now because homie
Yeah.
was crying, and you just you know what I mean, right? So I guess like too much sentimentality can be disruptive to the actual jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about Aaron? What about specifically? I'm thinking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because that's like a dark show. You know,
Yeah.
like the emotional stuff is not really present at all.
Right.
They are as bad. They're worse than Peep Show characters.
Oh, they're evil.
How do you feel about that one? Do you
Yeah.
indulge in It's Always
Yeah,
Sunny?
I love that. That's probably one of my favorites too. Like, yeah, I'm watching the new season, very excited. Yeah, I love it. It's like it is funny because they are worse than the Peep Show characters, but somehow it doesn't feel as dark as Peep Show.
It's like
No, yeah.
it kind of reminds me, and this is no, we don't have to go too far off. It just kind of reminds me how like in Breaking Bad, people end up thinking Walter White's like this perfect guy because it's kind of like told from like in Peep Show, you're kind of seeing it from like you're seeing it from their perspective, but you're also seeing them as losers. In It's Always Sunny, it's like you kind of like I mean you don't cheer for them, but you kind of cheer for them. Like
Yeah.
when they go to like that episode when they go to the school with like the revolver and the like katana, and they're like,
Oh.
and and like they're trying to be the school security guard, but like, what are you doing?
Yeah. But you know, I mean they did the last I don't know if you saw last year's season when they went to Ireland. But they had like a little bit of emotion. So like once in a while they have like an emotional arc, but they also keep it pretty minimal over there.
Mhm. You know, and I think it really helps for a show like that to keep it rather minimal because they're all just like the show. I don't think I've ever seen a show in the vein of like other than Peep Show, but that's like a British comedy, so half of them are depressed anyway. like where all the characters are just like so awful.
It's
Like,
funny, yeah.
no, you go, Chris.
Like we went to like British people are extremely like self-deprecating in their humor. Like we went to Canada not too long ago, and we met this British woman there, and we were like we saw her on the line to Niagara Falls, right? And we talked to her a little bit. Then we saw her on the boat to Niagara Falls, and she's like, yeah, hey, oh, hey, you guys made it up here, yeah. I was surprised they let like a lazy sack of shit like me like onto this boat, you know?
Yeah. No, when her mother
Wow.
came on, like, I think it was her mother was like a slightly older woman. She was like, "Yeah, you really drew the short straw with us being on board." Jesus
I'm like,
Christ!
we're like, God damn, like, okay, you don't have to go that far.
Relax.
Wow, that's yeah, you wouldn't I've never seen anybody be that like a stranger be that self-deprecating.
So
for no
direct.
reason.
Oh my God, like I appreciate self-deprecating humor, but like, God damn,
You
That's
need a
not
hug.
even humor though. That's just like I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I hate myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry you have to be around me.
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
man. Do you feel, Aiden, though, that maybe you can relate a little bit more to the British pessimism than the American optimism?
Yeah, maybe. I guess I try to I probably relate more to it, but I try to be I'm shooting to have more of an American optimistic viewpoint. Yeah. Ever since Shrooms, I try to be more positive. But
Life is short.
Life-
Life is too short to be
Yeah.
British.
yeah,
Like, too short to be British. Goddamn, Chris. No,
Yeah.
I feel that, and I feel like you can joke about things that are kind of like fucked while having it stay positive. Cause
Yeah.
cause like at the end of the day, I think humor it's supposed to be funny. You're not sitting here to cry. You're sitting here to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's there's a British show, The IT Crowd,
Yeah.
and that's pretty like silly, but I mean it's like it goes like some awful stuff happens, but it's very like cartoonish and like goofy kind of stuff.
Very light how they go about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking, like, because we're talking about, like, comedies, especially with, like, more depressing stuff. Remember the episode of It's Always Sunny where they just, like, I'm forgetting, I haven't watched too much of it, so I don't know the characters' names, but these, the two of the main guys go and just beat the shit out of children.
Oh, I remember that scene.
Like, slam their head in the car door and throw them.
Yeah.
I mean, kids are fucking annoying. I don't know if I totally. I don't know if I totally blame.
I don't blame them, right? They stole his bike. Come on.
Yeah, come on, man.
Wow. Yeah, it's a messed up show.
They'll remember that lesson.
Yeah.
I think in a funny way though, like they were like in the wrong there, but it's kind of like what I was saying before about like the Walter White thing. Like they're kind of like not like I don't like they're in the wrong. That's terrible, but they're kind of not in the wrong, right? Like those kids were little shits. All right.
I just want to put on record. I don't. I would never do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Only Chris
That's what-
here has admitted to doing something like that. Not.
I made you do it. No, I'm just saying. I think the move has its viewpoint.
I think it's a story that should be told. All right. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
You're right.
I'm here to explain why they did it.
Yeah.
But if it's probably we should all condone that. We should
Oh, yeah.
all state
No.
that we do not support beating up children.
Yeah. Do not. No. Come on, guys. Don't be Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah. One second,
Yeah, but
my attention died. Sorry about that. What were you saying?
I'm looking for jobs now. I'm afraid an employer is gonna be like, what?
What did he say?
What's he talking about? What is he doing?
Well,
Shrooms and beating kids.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not big enough. Don't worry. No one's gonna see this. If anyone does see this, like I said, it's Chris's fault. Not
It's Chris.
leave Aidan alone. It's all Chris's fault. Do you see this guy?
Yeah. I love
Hey-
children, and there's no reason not to hire me. So
Yeah. Come on.
Aidan, I can attest that he is a smart, well-spoken man. I think any
Yes.
employer would want to have him.
Actually, you know, Aidan, do you want to like completely get Chris out of here? Drop me and you do the podcast.
Bye.
Yeah, probably. I was gonna say something earlier, but
You make one joke about beating kids, and all of a sudden, like,
yeah. Come on. What's the problem? Really?
Oh man, you know what? Yeah. Even I was gonna say even like Curb Your Enthusiasm would go that far.
yeah, no.
Oh, no.
Larry does some awful things though,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Larry's too old to even do that at this
Yeah.
point.
the kids would beat him up.
Oh, they got hands.
I would actually watch that. Just get so Larry just getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
I remember like Chris telling me about earlier episodes of was it Curb Your Enthusiasm? Where it was less so that like Larry was like being a terrible person, more so like it was a critique on social norms. Did it change? Because like I don't know, Chris is just bad at time. Like Chris trying to tell me Sopranos is not a comedy. Sopranos is a comedy.
All right, it's your drama, but okay, let's
It's a comedy.
No, what I was saying was that
It's a comedy.
Okay, all right, it's a comedy. All right, all right, but I feel like in the earlier seasons of of Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? It felt like Larry was a lot more subtle in how he pointed out like the the inconsistencies and like social things, or the scenarios weren't that wacky. But like lately in the past, in the later seasons, he gets more obnoxious, and the scenarios get completely like get kind of pretty wacky. Like he gets like Foxwog in one episode, right? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So all I was saying was that the humor just got way more over the top.
Right.
It used to be more subtle, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't really notice that before, but I feel like half of the time I agree with Larry and it's like a good satire of society, but then half of the time I'm like, yeah, no, he's just an asshole.
Like, oh yeah, like I was watching a Curb clip this morning and he was out with this woman and her mother, right? And they were at a restaurant, and Larry picks up a glass of water and drinks it. And the old woman goes, "Oh, Larry, that's my glass of water." So Larry goes, "Oh, oh, oh!" I'm like, "You're such an asshole, bro. Come on, you're not on the right there."
Yeah, but I've thought about that one because sometimes like sometimes I would do something like that where it's like I wouldn't go that far like as big as his reaction, but I would be like, oh,
Mm.
I'd you
Yeah.
know, because I am genuinely grossed out sometimes.
I think that's fine. It's a little gross to drink from someone else's glass. Like,
Yeah.
it's a little bit
Well,
like,
it depends on the person too.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like, well, maybe, yeah, it depends on the person. But normally, for most people, I think most people we should know are healthy enough where you don't have to go, oh, oh, oh man,
Disease
oh.
riddance.
Yeah, it's like she had the
Yeah.
Black Death or something.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I agree with him.
Are there any other scenarios from Curb where you've seen and you're like, okay, Larry, no, that's not cool, Larry.
Oh man, there's so many. I guess I don't know, maybe well, when his wife was this was like a big one when his wife was
Yeah.
calling him from the plane. That was about she was on a plane that was like maybe gonna crash and he was busy with the TiVo guy. So he was like, I can't talk right now. And she's, possibly gonna die. So, and that's what ultimately led to his divorce. So
You
Damn, bro.
reminded me. You reminded me of a moment where Larry walks into his house and Cheryl gets up and his wife, she goes, "Larry, we need to talk." And Larry's like, "It's over with this. We're done. We're through." And she's like, "No, we have to talk about Funkhauser's party this weekend."
Bro was
yeah,
ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like the way his face, like his face did like beam up after hearing that.
right. He knew.
Yeah. He was excited. He was looking forward to like, I'm free.
I'm free.
Yeah. No, it's kind of good though, like when I watch Larry like, you know, on the phone with his wife like that, because I can be like, okay, I know if I was in that situation, I would talk to her. I wouldn't hang up the phone. Like I know I'm at least a better person.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm not a Larry, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Ferb is like Larry is kind of like how you shouldn't be in public. Oh,
Yeah.
you're not gonna have friends if you're. I don't know how Larry has so many friends, honestly.
But like some points he makes don't like kind of go hard though. Like the thing you were telling me the other day about like the trick or treaters with like the 17-year-old girls not even in costumes walk up and he was like, "Get the fuck off my yard! You're not even in costume. You're not even trying."
Yeah.
Like, that I kind of get, bro. Like if you're an adult trick or treating, I'm not gonna shit on you, but at least with a costume.
Okay, Aidan, I have a question. You know how those two girls they spray paint bald asshole on the front of his door, right?
Right.
Shut up.
Right. Is Larry correct in saying that is a hate crime against bald people?
It's a tough one. It's a gray area, I guess, but I mean, I guess technically it's a subsection of people and they put it in a negative light. So I guess maybe technically, yeah.
They are historically oppressed people in our society.
Yeah.
Bald people.
Okay, R.I.P. Mr. Clean.
And then
Yeah.
he looks at the cop, and the cop like clearly like is bald by styling. He's like, he's like, I'm not offended by that. He's like, we personally don't consider you a part of the bald community.
Yeah.
I'd just be more mad about the paint. You know how many layers, and you have to get like the right color on the door because not all like color of white on each door is the same.
I
Yeah.
actually I asked my dad about because his head he's very shiny. This area here.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
I asked him like, Dad, what do you think? Like, is the cop a part of the bald community? And my dad's like, I don't totally think so. Like, he hasn't gone through what we've gone through.
Right.
I love your dad, man.
Yeah. No, he's right. I mean, I'm scared. I'm scared to lose my hair. So I gotta like be nice to bald people right now because
Yeah.
I'm gonna need them once once I'm in their community.
I mean, they
Yeah.
probably save lots of money on shampoo though. Like, damn.
Oh damn, yeah.
It's true.
Like,
Yeah.
and you don't have to like comb it. Like
You
my
don't have to-
dad gets up, he has like 4 hairs here. He just like throws back. Just, like,
Throws
call it a
back.
day.
Yeah. With all the money they save, they can buy alcohol.
Oh.
Oh, okay, bud. All right,
Yeah.
sure.
Hey, I feel like even that alcohol, I feel like it could help them act in some capacity. Do you
Oh,
guys think?
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could. It could bring out the emotion. It could be good.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's an episode of Curb where he's going to his doctor and like their policy is like a first come first serve policy, and so he has to like race people into the waiting room, and he like complains about it, and I like that's an example where I think he's totally right, and like there's just like some stupid bureaucratic systems that like they're just
Yeah.
ridiculous, and so it's kind of like cathartic to see him just be like, this is awful.
Yeah. Like it's like he said, like why have like what is the purpose of making an appointment if
Right.
it's just I have to write my name in and I get to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, I'm applying to jobs right now, and it's all just that kind of stuff where it's like you got to like submit your resume and then rewrite everything that's on your resume on their application profile. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh.
why don't you just look at the resume? It's all there. No, just wasting everybody's time.
And then like you gotta write the cover letter, which is just a summary of everything on your resume too.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you have to hold their hand.
Yeah,
The process.
it's tough, but I don't know. I wish if anybody's out there, please give me a call. Available.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got lucky. I knew a guy who just was like, "Hey, yo, if you want, I can like tell," because he was a big boss. And he was like, "I just tell them to hire you." I was like, "Damn, all right, cool." I didn't know how bad the hiring process was until a few of my friends were telling me about it. God,
Yeah.
get
What
holy
do you do?
shit! I mean, I'm not anything crazy. I'm just part-time job right now. I'm working at an Acme. That's all. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I clean up human shit sometimes. It's my favorite part of it. The real golden
Really?
gems. Oh, okay. I don't want to steer too far off, but I gotta tell him the story. This
Okay, go
there
ahead.
there
Yeah.
was this one time I was working in the back and I was just leaving the back of the store, going to probably grab something, a cleaning supply or something. And this lady comes up to me and she's like, "Oh, excuse me, do you know where the bathroom is?" Right? And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, I do." So I bring her to like the back and like so the back is kind of big and we like the bathroom's all the way up like 20 sets of stairs, like it's like wait right high. So I point her, I'm like, just go there, take a left. She's like, I don't want to do that. That's creepy. That's scary up there. And I'm like, what? And she's like, it's kind of freaky. And I'm like, okay, you do you. So I walk away, and about maybe an hour and a half later, in the front of the store, there is a turd.
Oh.
just a dry shit on the ground. Like,
Oh.
and I'm over here like, this is one of the places in the store with like the most traffic. So like, she should be in the FBI. She fucking squatted and shit on the ground with no one noticing her. And it was there for like an hour.
Wow. That's crazy. I
Right.
mean, wait, so this is like is that a grocery store?
Grocery store, yeah.
Wow, that's you wouldn't think that that would, and so that's only happened once though. That's not like a
Yeah, we can say once. Totally, just once.
I
Uh,
can't.
Wow.
there was the dude who like shit all the way down the stairs.
Oh.
Oh.
I just rolled.
Oh.
I didn't
love
mess with that
Aang-
one.
I love Aang's O's after every single mention of Shay. He's like, oh, that's not. Oh God.
Uh,
No.
I mean, at a grocery store, I don't know. I just, you wouldn't think.
So much human feces.
I wouldn't want the food I'm about to buy to be around so much shit. I personally.
Yeah,
No.
that's terrible.
I will say though, it's out of all 3 times I've cleaned shit over working there for 3 years, it's only been human shit twice. Only
Oh,
twice. So come on, it's not that bad.
yeah. What was it, a dog the other time?
A dog, yeah. A good 66%.
What's more
Yeah.
pleasant?
Wow.
I gotta say, don't if you eat fruit like you get from grocery stores, make sure to wash them because after working there, I've noticed like fruit and stuff will drop from the basket, and people like the I've seen people work there. They'll just pick it up and put it back on. There's not
Yeah.
like a cleaning or anything, and the ground. Don't ask me how I know, but it does not taste good.
Brandon, I got a question.
Yeah, what's poppin'?
So, like, let's say you get a call over the radio, right? And your boss is like, "So, Brandon, you go get aisle 6. There's dog shit in the middle of the aisle." Are you like, "Oh, thank God, it's just a dog. Oh, thank God."
Okay, you'd be surprised. I would rather even human shit over spilled oil. Spilled oil is so fucking hard to clean up. It takes like an hour to clean it because you can't use a mop because now the mop is ruined forever. And then you can't use this chemical that's supposed to dry it out because that's made for stuff with water. That is not water, that's oil. So I'm on my hands and feet with cardboard trying to scoop the oil into a bucket for an hour straight. And there's customers who will walk past me, step in the oil, will look at each other, and they'll just like be like, "Hello," and they'll like drag the oil to the store. I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Be normal." You know, shit is way better than oil. I would clean shit any day.
Shit, you
I
just
think,
pick
Yeah,
up.
you just
yeah, you just pick it up. Yeah,
yeah, it's easy.
it's easy, it's simple. I think this just like working in like any sort of retail environment like that just makes you just a total misanthrope, or at least for me. Just I hate humanity after that point.
Oh, totally. Totally, man. We had this 6 foot, like 6'3" guy come in and was just wailing on one of our cashiers because she was like, "We can't take your," I think it was like, "We can't take your item back. It's past the date," you know? And he was like, "Oh, blah 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 blah," and he had to be like the manager had to walk him out of the store. But I'm like, damn, bro, do you think this like 18, 19, I mean like 20-year-old is gonna fucking be able to help you with that?
Hey, I got a question. So, have you had any of those like shitty jobs in the past, kind of like that, like retail or customer service stuff like that, that you have like maybe horrible stories from?
Yeah. I actually was a cashier at a grocery store, Price
Oh, you
Chopper.
poor soul.
For me, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad. I didn't like it. I was also a cashier at a woman's clothing store,
Oh, no.
called White House Black Market, and
Fancy.
yeah, it was fancy, but I think it was kind of weird because I think they hired me because it's a woman's clothing store. It's mostly women. I think they thought that I was like into fashion or something, and they just kind of assumed why else would I apply? And really, I only accidentally applied because I was just sort of applying to all these stores in a certain area. So, yeah, I just kind of was there, and I really shouldn't have been. I mean, I don't even know the difference between like a blouse and a skirt, and you should probably know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In that field. But people were
yeah.
like a little weirded out too, because like there was one woman who came in and was like, normally I would just take my shirt off here, but now there's this guy in the store.
I'd be kind of weird out. Like
Yeah.
we have changing rooms. Like that's not on you. We have changing rooms, lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, that's
If
weird.
if you go to any store, you're not supposed to just take your shirt off.
Yeah, that's not like a complaint. Like, what if like women's clothing store, right? What if like some old dude came in with his daughter?
Right, yeah. I'm sure it happens, but she was accustomed to just taking her shirt off. I don't know.
That's funny.
Oh my God. I can imagine though, like when customers came up to you with questions where you're just like, yeah, sure, yeah, like you just give them very generic responses. Yeah, that would definitely look great. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily they didn't really. I think they knew not to ask me. It was the other people working sort of handled that, but I was more just a cashier.
Yeah, that's the annoying part about being a cashier though, because sometimes like I've been a cashier before, and customers will come up to you and ask you questions about products on the floor, and you're like, bro, I'm constantly behind this machine. I never walk out onto the floor at all, you know? Yeah.
If you got questions about this register, I know it. Nothing else.
I know that's all.
Bro, but if you're gonna ask me about the printer, I'm lost.
Yeah.
Bro, and you guys like cashiers deal with like the worst shit because like I deal with human shit, but you guys deal with human shit. Like there's a good chance, like for me, I might deal with 1 or 2 customers. Really, you guys deal with like if there's like 3 cashiers on, you're gonna deal with 33% of the store of everyone who comes in. 33% is going to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's tough.
That's dog water. I
Like
don't-
every or like I've been like the only cashier working at some point. It's like every bad customer that you encounter on the floor, I will encounter, and then some.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
You have to see the lady shit.
No, not again.
I feel like if you saw that, she'd look you in the eye with like a sense of spite. Like, yeah, I'm doing it here, and you have to clean this.
It was right near the cashiers. I'm surprised she was able to do it without none of them seeing it.
They saw it. There was like, that's not my department.
That's not my issue.
Yeah, I mean, what are they gonna do? How did she wipe though? She just got up and left.
Yo, it was the weirdest fucking thing in the world
Yeah.
because there was a solid I put on gloves and I had like a whole on HVAC. I had like everything on me, and I grab it and underneath the glove I feel like plastic. I think she wiped her ass with plastic because it was just like a solid chunk of like an old bag.
So wait, this woman like took a shit was then after that was in the aisle wiping herself.
That's the only thing I can imagine because in the shit too was just plastic, like a plastic bag.
Okay. I would never take a shit in an aisle, right? But I would at least I would want to not like wipe myself in the aisle. You know, I feel like I'm gonna get caught if I do that. I would just like bear it until I got home.
She has her hygiene, guys. Come on, what's wrong with that? One clean, easy.
At least she's hygienic. Probably didn't wash her hands though.
Oh no, don't worry. We have a row of just hand sanitizer. She's fine.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I was kind of imagining like maybe she just grabbed like rotisserie chicken afterwards and just sort of used that.
Bro. Yeah, no. Any open food, fruits, any of that stuff. For the love of God, please wash it before you eat it. Please.
Oh man, I'm not comfortable now going downstairs and grabbing some food out of my fridge. I'm a little scared now.
I mean, the amount of times we've had people just doing weird or gross stuff. I've had like, I mean, me personally, I've like bought drinks there, and you know how like when you get a new drink, like it opens and like the seal cracks, and you know it hasn't been opened.
Yeah.
Open it, it hasn't cracked. And I've done that like 2 or 3 times, and it's like all 3 of these have been drink from. Like someone drank from it, closed it, put it back. Drank from it, closed it, put it back. People are gross. People are nasty, bro.
Like
Just
I
steal
think
it
that
at that point.
Yeah, just take it. Like, please, I don't want to drink your afterwatch. Have it.
I think that yeah, I worked at a Staples and a Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't have any horror stories that come near to what would come from working at a grocery store. Hey, I don't know about you, but what your experience was like. But I could assume it wasn't as bad as grocery store.
No, probably not.
Horrible retail jobs. Yeah. What were you looking for now, Aidan? What are you trying to get into?
Well, I'm trying to move to Brooklyn, so I'm
Oh,
really
yeah.
just kind of looking for anything that's not too terrible over there. I'm looking at like maybe like tour guide jobs.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, because I figure it's kind of in the comedy realm, but
Yeah.
I have to get like a license to do it, to be a
Yeah.
tour guide.
You gotta get a license?
Yeah, I gotta like take a test and like study for. It's basically like a New York history test, and so I have to just like study the history of New York City and.
Ah, okay, yeah. I mean
Yeah.
that makes sense. You know, they can't have just some guy walk out making stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that wouldn't be a bad position for you because tour guides, like, they also, I kind of feel like, need to be a little bit charismatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
You
have to
got-
like
yeah.
have vibe, a spunk.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can come out, crack a few sex jokes while you're at it.
Yeah.
You
Right.
you can test out your routine on your tour guides.
Yeah, I could be like, that's the building that I had an awkward sexual encounter. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So hopefully I just ordered this like textbook, so I gotta like start studying for that. But yeah.
Oh, I know the feeling. Yeah, I'm
Well,
trying
you're
to be out-
history, right, Chris?
I was a history major, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I'm not so much in New York history. I was like medieval history, but yeah.
Just early New York medieval times, same thing. There's lots of rats.
Oh yeah,
Right.
lot of rats, unhealthy.
yeah,
Disease.
rats are a constant. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I'm trying to do. I was also looking at like substitute teaching jobs.
Hey,
So
yeah.
I do also want to again say that I would never beat children.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. You trust your kid. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's a lot of weird New York City policies that are, again, like these weird bureaucratic policies. So I think like they would let me teach for like 40 days and then they would cut me off unless I get a certification. And I don't know why I can teach for 40 days and then I can't after that. It's
You would think you'd be given more lenience the more you have done the job and actually know how to go about it, not less.
yeah, you know. They apparently not. So I'm trying to figure that out, but yeah, maybe I'll do that because it's like it's decent. It's decent. I mean, it's bad pay, but for a entry level job, it's decent. So
Can you like reset it? Can you be like, oh, they're like not letting you do it past this time, so you like leave and then come back? Be like, hey, hire me again.
yeah, honestly, I was wondering like because I think it might be by district. So if you just
Ooh.
went to a different district, you might be able to because it resets every year. So I have
Yeah.
to look into the legalities of all like the loopholes, but I'm not sure. It seems it, and also nobody's heard of it. Like the principals haven't heard of the policy. It's just like the government. So I feel like it might be one of those policies that nobody follows. I don't know.
Honestly,
It's
yeah,
a
because I've
little,
never heard of that either, so I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised if nobody followed it.
it might be, but I have to figure that out.
Yeah, you're right. New York City has so many just weird bureaucratic policies, though. You
Yeah.
gotta work around stuff like that. I feel like though, I feel like tour guide might be a little more fun than a substitute teacher,
Oh, a
though.
million%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have some friends who did it, and they say you just, pretty much give them work, and then you just kind of sit there.
Go on your
So,
phone.
yeah, just make sure they don't get into any trouble and
Yeah.
just hang out.
It's not bad.
I mean, I think compared to the rest of the country, New York State teachers are gonna be paid well. So,
Yeah,
maybe like a New York State substitute school teacher would be
yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
they
Yeah.
make decent. Like you could pay your rent, you could get by.
Oh,
Damn,
even
all
in
right.
New York City? Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Crazy.
I know, yeah.
So substitute teacher or tour guide most likely now, right?
Yeah, I'm also looking at like production assistant stuff for like film sets.
All right.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that
that
would
would
be
be
fucking
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That's the best situation, but it's very like unstable because, there's there's no like state because it's just one set after another. So I guess if I could like do those other jobs part-time, I could kind of combine them. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see what happens. My friend works on a murder investigation show.
Oh,
And he
Oh
said
yeah.
maybe he can hook me up. So
that would be super cool.
Oh, that would
yeah,
be
it's
sick.
like one of those like true crime like reality, type when they do like the reenactments and everything. So very depressing stuff, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
could be fun. So
Oh,
yeah.
we
totally.
we love depression.
Oh, shut up, bro.
Hey, what would you say some of your skills are though? Like maybe you can list out maybe what you have on your resume. What are some of those skills you got? Are
Oh
you a
yeah.
people person? Great teamwork?
Okay. Yeah, I mean I put that stuff down. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if I have any skills. Um I feel like yeah, I guess I would put that kind of stuff. Like I don't know any like I don't know hardware or plumbing or anything like that. So it's pretty much just teamwork and that kind of thing. I guess I guess I can like kind of public speaking. That's kind of like
Yeah.
the thing
No,
I
that
can
is a
do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Literal skill, yeah.
That is an
But
Yeah,
that's
amazing
could be
skill
fun.
too.
Yeah.
but that's like the shitty part about coming out of college. I got no experience, I have no skills, and I need a job.
Yeah. And they won't give you a job unless you had experience and it's just it's terrible.
You see, you'll go on Indeed, you'll see like entry level position, need 1 year experience. But it's entry level.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you doing, Chris? Are
I
you looking right now?
I work for a lawyer right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty
and
good.
he's really nice and like I want to go to law school after this, so like I'm doing it to see if I like the career path too.
Mm,
Studying for the LSAT now. Yeah,
yeah, wow.
yeah, yeah,
Good luck.
yeah.
I'll,
It's
I'll
killing
stick with
me.
studying New York history, but
Hey, that's probably fascinating though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
It
know.
might be a little more fun than like me doing like logic games. Like if Rosemary, Julia, and Hugo all go on a trip, what's the order of the trip? Like that's not fun.
No, it sounds terrible.
No, it's awful. Yeah. Are you into history, or is that just sort of maybe like something you're thinking could be kind of cool?
Am I what?
Are you into history, or is like that sort of
Oh.
position something you thought like, hey, this would be kind of cool?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like heavily into it, but I find it relatively interesting. Like it was probably my favorite subject in school, so yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to read the book, I guess, and see like how interesting it is. I don't like the dates and like the names and everything, but the stories are cool.
I'm gonna tell you, if it's from a textbook, it's not gonna be interesting. It's be like a list of facts.
Yeah.
Memorize the facts. What's fun is when you get to like have like a period you like, and then like interpret what you like the information from it, and create your own narrative about the period. That's the fun part of history.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, maybe I could do that on the tour.
Yeah, on the tour. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but like yeah, I'm starting to like there's like stuff online about like what to study that I was reading, and like some of it's kind of interesting, but some of it's just like dates and street names and things like that. And so that's kind of like I have to like I don't know if I would really need this on the job, but for the test, I guess like I have to memorize like where certain buildings are and things like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense
I,
because when you're on the job, they probably wouldn't be mad if you had like a notepad with you. If you know, it's just kind of like, hey, we want a general understanding beforehand.
I can
right.
imagine. You have to be a really awful like customer though too, to look at someone like a tour guide and be like, oh, he's looking at his notes.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Oh.
it's the same thing with like, why don't they give cashiers like seats or like stools? Like, it's like, do you really think a customer is gonna be like, fuck that guy? How fucking dare you?
He stands
Literally,
for me.
He's stand.
that's literally a Seinfeld skit. You remember the security guard? George is like, I gotta get in
Oh
the
yeah.
chair. Yeah. Yeah, Brand, the context is that there's a security guard in a store, and George is like, oh, his legs must be killing him. Like, why can't someone get him a chair? So George got him a chair. And he
Aw.
fell asleep and the store got robbed.
I like how literally no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah. But
That's why they don't give
yeah,
security
so
guards.
hopefully that'll be a cool job. But I actually gave tours at Purchase at college.
Oh, you
Oh,
gave
okay.
tours there?
Yeah, a little bit for over the last year over the summer.
I'm gonna be honest, that must have been kind of hard because I liked Purchase, right? I love Purchase, but the campus is not the best looking.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, I wasn't like selling the design of it as much. I was just like telling them, facts about it and stuff like that. But it was cool. Like there was one woman who worked there, and she was on the tour with her son, but
Oh
she
yeah.
was like kind of correcting me like during the tour, but she was just like adding kind of useless information, and she was like, you forgot to mention there's bathrooms in this building. And I was like, yeah, I guess if people want to know, there's bathrooms in every building pretty much.
Yeah,
It's safe to assume that there's gonna be a bathroom in there.
Yeah.
you have better patience than me. I'd get so annoyed. I'd get visibly annoyed.
Yeah, no, I just had to. I guess that's part of the job is just taking crap. But
Yeah, it's pretty easy to have patience when the alternative is like losing your job.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, but yeah, how is it being a tour guide? Or is it like you besides her, do you usually have like annoying like people like that on your tours, or are they normally like really
um,
nice?
no, I mean most people are polite and like but there are some crazy situations.
Yeah,
There were like some students who were um were already living there because they were like
summer. Yeah.
international students.
Oh, okay.
So some of them kind of like knew this already, but they were just kind of forced to go through it. And they would sometimes just be like, "Hey, we should let me show them over here," and they would like try to take over the tour. So that was that was tough, but yeah.
I always thought it kind of sucks, Aiden, that well maybe this doesn't suck, right? But I feel like for your comedy, right, at Purchase, because they're building that not nursing home, senior living, Broadview on
Broadview.
campus, right?
Yeah.
I felt like, oh man, that would have been like comedy gold at purchase.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe they could be in the audience too. Like I could have a whole new audience at purchase.
Well, do you think the 90-year-olds would be very receptive to your sex jokes?
I mean, you know,
I wouldn't be surprised actually.
yeah, they're probably awkward about it too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something I wanted to ask because you do stand up. Have you ever had any hecklers?
Nothing like crazy, but yeah, I've had some people like say stuff. Actually, like at probably my big, like I had like a big like audition at Broadway Comedy Club in Manhattan, and it's, you know, they give you a tape, like it's pretty good stuff. And yeah, this guy, like I think I did this joke at the show me and Chris met at, but I was talking about like, do people like write reviews for porn? Like a movie critic would, and this guy in the audience was like, yeah, I write them. And so he was like getting laughs off of that, and he just kept like, I tried to say stuff, but he just would keep interrupting me and like, yeah, I
Ooh.
write reviews for porn. And so you
Ah.
just get like drunk people who are just like going off. But I don't know, as long as you kind of like stay
Yeah.
focused, it's not a big deal.
You can kind of control the sway of how. Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have more balls than me, bro. I'm already scared of being on stage. If I was on stage and then that happened, dead. I'm dead.
It's I have the video from that, and like,
Do you?
yeah, and like the whole time I'm pretty good, but then when I get heckled, I think you can kind of see, like I can see the fear in my eye, and like my face kind of changes. But yeah,
I
it's
feel it.
No, like at a certain point though, like once you get like experience, like you gotta get used to stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah.
like that stuff probably like after like 10 years of doing it, it's not gonna phase you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
assume, yeah. No, but yeah, it's like you always see like videos online of comedians will just like they'll have a heckler and then they'll be like the video will be like the comedian destroys heckler or something like that. And
yeah.
you know, like I wonder if that's like a skill you develop too, right? As a comic.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I There's this guy in New York, Troy Bond, and there's a bunch of good video. Like that's like all he posts is just videos of him destroying hecklers, and yeah, he's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I think you could like. And it probably wouldn't be good to do this, but at the same time, pay someone ahead of time. Be like, I need you to heckle me because I know it'll get noticed if I demolish you while I'm on stage.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, like that's more of a like you could do that as a sketch, even like that wouldn't even be not allowed. I think that's fair game.
I
Um,
literally
yeah,
I literally saw a video like that where it was a sketch where some stand-up comic had someone in the audience come up and like yell at him. He called him a slur for Jewish people.
Oh
He
no!
made the guy call him a slur for Jewish people, right? I
Oh
don't know
no!
who I
wow.
say. I'm not gonna say it, but anyway, so he calls him that, right? And then the guy's like, he's like, come over here, like the comic to him, and then he like gives him the most fake slap across the face I've ever seen.
Uh,
And like the videos tell like comedian destroys like anti-Semitic heckler.
wow. Yeah.
But
There's one
yeah.
time actually I did that now that I think about it. At Purchase, I we had a show and I had one of my friends in the audience heckle me because it was the Virgin show, which is for comedians that haven't done stand up before.
Okay.
So I to introduce it, the bit is that it's actually a friend of mine wrote this bit, but I was doing it, and the bit's like, I know it's like it's the Virgin show, but I don't want anyone to be confused. Please don't bring any olive oil. And and then I had my friend stand up and with a bottle of olive oil and heckle me and be like, "What the hell's wrong with you? I brought my olive oil down here, you fucking asshole."
That's pretty funny. Huh?
It's good. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah, no, that's really funny.
She should have slapped me though.
Oh
I
yeah, no.
missed that.
Taken off stage, bam.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, that reminds me of something I wanted to ask you, right? So you're always hearing like politics. You always hear about how like college campuses, like the people on there are too sensitive. You can't do comedy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You'll hear comedians say shit like that, right? Now
Right.
you as like you're a comedian on Purchase, which is relatively sort of left leaning college. Did you ever
Yeah.
feel like your comedic creativity was like sort of restricted? Did you ever even have that feeling at all? Think there's
Um
any merit to that?
not really. I
Okay.
mean, I think just because I mean, there's definitely things you if you said you would, people would hate you for it, but and I don't think they would find it funny, but I think I don't know. I think I just haven't a lot of my stuff is just about my own insecurities, so it's not as much like
Yeah.
in a dangerous territory. Like people are like, "Oh, he's a loser. That's fine. We don't care."
Yeah.
Let's not get mad at him. So yeah, I didn't really feel like too hindered by that, but I don't know. I think like there's a lot of ways around that as long as like maybe the specifics of the joke have to be changed, but like as long as the core of the joke, I think if it's funny, it's funny, and you might just have to change specific words and specific things, but um I don't know. I don't think it's as big of a deal as sometimes like people make it out to be.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was assuming, that it's just kind of like maybe you just gotta like reword it a little bit and you should be
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a good comedian will be able to make any joke still funny without stepping in unknown territory. Or yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah, but
sense.
I didn't know the Purchase Comedy Club, was so wild though.
Yeah, it was a fun. I was the president for the last year. Um it
That'd be
was
cool.
yeah, it was cool. It was a good experience to like run a room, but you definitely get some characters in there.
Any stories?
Uh oh man, every week there's something crazy. I mean, there's we had this one guy come in, and I mean he was a nice guy, he was a cool guy, but he he would bring his dog in, and
Yeah.
he showed us pictures of his dog sucking his own dick.
All right.
What?
Oh wow.
The dog sucking his not
Oh!
the dog
Oh.
sucking its own dick.
Oh!
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That should be clear.
Okay.
So to be clear, whose dick the dog is sucking its own dick?
It's
Right.
Okay.
There's no human dick involved. But still, I mean, very crazy, and it was a graphic picture. I mean, it was, and that was his set. He was like, "Pass this around. I want everybody to see this."
Everyone needs to see my dog suck its own pecker.
Yeah, so you get some weird stuff like that, but he was a nice guy though. He's really just he's a cool guy.
God.
There's actually this group of girls that would come in, and they never did stand up, but they were all friends, and they would like get high and just kind of come in and laugh, and it was like nice just to have more audience members and like more of a diet, because it's mostly just men, so it was nice to have like some diversity. But then I went out with one of them, and then it didn't, and then she ghosted me, and that was the end. The whole friend group, we lost.
Oh man.
They never
That's
came back.
oh man, that's so much like revenue you just lost.
Yeah. I just totally shot comedy club, and I was a terrible president. I lost us like half our audience.
Oh
So
man.
You
yeah.
always see like presidents still have to like list their achievements, like we grew jobs by this much, we expanded the industry by this much. Under President Aidan Kushner, we lost half our audience.
Half our audience.
The comedy club is in shambles.
Yeah. It was I mean, it was entirely my fault, really. I mean,
Oh man.
If you had more Riz, if only you had more Riz.
So I think we should maybe wrap things up.
Start thinking, yeah.
Yep. So obviously we will put those links in the description. But do you wanna anything like? And you have a YouTube page, Twitter. This shout it out right now too.
Yeah, on YouTube, I think I'm just Aidan Kushner. If you just search Aidan Kushner, you should find my channel. I have I mostly have sketches, but I'm gonna start posting stand-up soon. My Instagram is Aidan_Kushner, and same thing there. I'll start posting. I don't really post a lot of stand-up, but I think I've been told I should, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna start posting tiny clips there that you can see. Um, and hopefully in like the fall, winter, you could see me in Manhattan or Brooklyn doing stand up. And yeah, I don't really use Twitter, but Instagram and YouTube,
All right.
you can
Yeah.
find me there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
sounds good.
Aiden, I would love like whenever you have a show coming up in like the New York City area, you should like let us know. I'd be down. I'd be down to go.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure. Yeah, and I always post that stuff on Instagram. So if
yeah.
anybody wants to keep up with that, you can follow me and let you know. Also, if anybody's hiring in Brooklyn or Manhattan, let me know. Hit me up.
Hit him up. Come on, guys, look at him.
Yeah.
He's a young lad ready for journeys.
He's a
Uh,
young, talented, funny lad. I would want him on my workforce.
Okay.
Yeah.
And bye bye.
And bye,
All
yeah.
right. Well,